Hey student, watch this video and learn how to make indirect questions. Coming up. Hey friends, Teacher Prix here to help you talk to anyone, anywhere, anytime in English. First of all, thank you so much for joining me on another English lesson. And if it's your first time here, consider subscribing. Why? Well, from Monday to Friday, I post all kinds of English lessons. Grammar, vocabulary, listening tips, speaking tips, because I want to make sure that you become a better and more confident English speaker. So consider subscribing. Anyways, today it's not live. Yeah, I had to record this, but I hope you enjoyed it anyways. So how to make indirect questions. This is a different kind of question, okay? Beginners don't usually learn this. This is a little bit more, let's say, for intermediate speakers. It's a very nice kind of question that you gotta start using, my friends. Yes, it's easy. I'll show you. Basically, indirect questions are more polite way, to ask a question. They are a more polite way to ask questions in English, okay? So that's basically the difference between a direct and indirect question. But now you could be thinking, Priscilla, what is an indirect question? What's the difference between a direct? I don't really know. Well, let me show you. A direct question is what pretty much you have been studying all your life. Do you study English? Does she speak Portuguese? Do your parents live here? Why are you studying English? These are all direct questions. Basically, in a direct question, I use auxiliary verbs. I don't conjugate the verbs if it's simple present with he, she, it, or simple past. I have a specific position, I have auxiliary verb. Then I have the subject and the verb and the complement. So the position is specific when you're asking a direct question, and you never conjugate things when you're asking direct questions, okay? Now, there's nothing wrong with direct questions. You are not impolite if you're using direct questions. But depending on the situation, it is a good idea to use indirect questions or to know what an indirect question is so that you can decide which one is better for you depending on the conversation, okay? Now, an indirect question is not formal, okay? Not necessarily formal. It depends on the situation. But as I said, they are definitely a more polite way to ask questions in English, okay? Let me show you some examples so that you understand the difference between direct and indirect questions, okay? So all the questions in white are direct questions. Where's Mark? Why did Peter leave so early? When are we leaving? How much does this car cost? Can you finish this project by Friday? Can we move the next meeting? Well, can we move the meeting back to Wednesday? So these are all direct questions and you can use them anywhere, anytime, with anyone. Now, let's take a look at the indirect questions. So where is Mark? Do you know where Mark is? So I can start with a direct question, but then I finish in an indirect way, okay? I will explain more. Let's look at the examples first. I want you to intuitively understand this, but I will also give you the explanations. Do you have any idea why Peter left so early? So here I conjugated the verb and I said goodbye to did, no did. Could you tell me when we are leaving? So here I didn't say, are we leaving? I said, we are leaving. So pay attention, this is important. I'd like to know how much this car costs. This is the question, but I'm not really using a question structure, so this is another possibility. Would it be possible for you to finish this project by Friday? So here I started with, would it be possible for you to finish this project by Friday, and I removed can. Is there any chance we could move the meeting back to Wednesday? So, is there any chance we could? I didn't use can, I changed to could. So, these are very common patterns of indirect questions. Now, let's understand exactly how you can do that too, okay? And hey, if you are enjoying this lesson, make sure to hit the like button. I was looking for the button here. Whenever you hit the like button, I understand that this is the kind of lesson you enjoy, that my channel is helping you, and it also helps YouTube understand that this is a good lesson. And that way, my friend YouTube will recommend my lessons to other people. Anyways, indirect questions. Let's understand the rules. The verb to be, let's focus on to be. The verb to be always comes after the subject. In direct questions, it always comes before, okay? But now, no, not anymore. It comes after. So if you see here, where is Mark? So verb to be comes first and then Mark, the subject. Indirect question, it's the opposite. Mark is. So I conjugate, I position verb to be and the subject as if I were making an affirmative question. An affirmative sentence. So that's the change here, okay? The subject comes first and then verb to be. So this is one important change. Here, as I said before, and now I will explain a little more, we do not use auxiliary verbs, do, does, did, okay? There are some exceptions and I will talk about it, but do, does, did? No, I conjugate the verb, okay? So if I'm asking a question, a direct question with does, if I want to ask an indirect question, then I will conjugate the verb, okay? So does he like? I would like to know if he likes. Okay, so I have to conjugate the verb as if I were making an affirmative sentence. Okay, now the future will and the oh my god, I forgot the word, the conditional would. They can be used in indirect questions if necessary, okay, if you have a question in the future, but it's the same thing that happens with verb to be. First you have the subject, and then you will use will, and then you will use would if you find questions to use simple future and conditional, okay? Let's see what else I can tell you guys. Right, let's go to the next slide. Now, I want to ask questions that are indirect with can. In this case, I have specific phrases that I can use. So if my direct question uses can, if I want to make an indirect question, I have these possible beginnings. Would it be possible to? No, can. Is there any chance we could? No, can, but I use could. I was wondering if you, if we, if they, if John, if the doctor could. No, can. It's not so common. Okay, so these are three options of indirect question beginnings that you can use to replace can. Okay, can is more commonly used in direct questions. Here is an indirect question. And now you must be thinking, okay, Priscilla, I saw that I don't conjugate the verbs. I saw that the verb to be changes the position, but I don't know how to begin the question. I knew this was coming. This is common, okay? To ask indirect questions, I have here a list of the beginnings, okay, of how you start the indirect questions, okay? These are the most common ones. Let's see if I wrote more. No, these are the most popular ones. Quite honestly, these are the ones that I use the most, and native speakers as well, okay? So you start with this, could you tell me? And then you finish the question. So let's say, what time is it? That's a direct question. What time is it? Now I want to ask with an indirect question. So I can use one of these. Of course, not all of them will be appropriate for this question. So you need to analyze the situation, the type of question, and then you can ask. So you could say, could you tell me what time it is? So remember, I changed the position between to be and the subject. In a question, a direct question, I would say, is it? What time is it? But here it's an indirect question, so the subject comes first. Could you tell me what time it is? Could you tell me what time it is? Do you know what time it is? Also possible. Do you have any idea what time it is? Okay. You could say, I would like to know what time it is, but not so cool. I've seen, could you tell me what time it is? Do you know what time it is? Do you have any idea what time it is? So these are the best ones, okay? And you will learn this gradually, as I showed you with can. Would it be possible? Is there any chance we could? I was wondering if. So these are more common replacements for can. Now with the others, do, did, verb to be, you will have to analyze case by case. But these are the best ways to start an indirect question, okay? See, let's take a look at more examples. Now, no, let's go back. Ah, yes, I have a better idea. Going back to this slide. So you see here, I used many different ones. So where is Mark? I asked, do you know where Mark is? Because this is connected to knowing. So you have to interpret the situation as well, okay? Why did Peter leave so early? I could say, do you know why? Do you have any idea why? That's the one I use. So do you have any idea why Peter left so early? You know, I was wondering. I was thinking to myself, I was wondering why Peter left so early. So it's possible, okay? When are we leaving? Do you know when we are leaving? Do you have any idea when we are leaving? Could you tell me when we are leaving? I was wondering when we're leaving, you know? So depending on the situation, you have many options, okay? And it's important to interpret what the sentence is, what you're trying to say, so that you can find the best options, all right? Now let's go to the slide I intended to. Yes and no questions. Now, if you want to ask a yes or no indirect question, you will always need the word if. For example, does Anna like Japanese food? Do you know if Anna likes Japanese food? So here, after I use the structure, do you know, I have to use if, okay? Could you tell me if Anna likes Japanese food? I have to use if. I have no choice, okay? And then I use the rest of the direct question and I change the verb, I change the conjugation. I don't use does or do or did. So this is the style of indirect question. Are your kids coming to dinner? Could you tell me if your kids are coming to dinner? So do you know if your kids are coming to dinner? Do you know? Do you have any idea if your kids are coming to dinner? Yeah, do you have any idea? It's not a good one. So do you know if, could you tell me if, I was wondering if your kids are coming to dinner. Hey, did you talk to Peter about my idea? I was wondering if you talked to Peter about my idea. So here I conjugated the verb talk. Simple past, regular verb, so talked, okay? Now, as I told you before, when I'm asking an indirect question, I have to change the verb, okay? I was wondering if you talked to Peter about my idea. So if I go back here to these expressions, to these beginnings, okay, to these phrases that we use to start an indirect question, I will be able to use if in pretty much most of them. But would it be possible? Not really a good idea, okay? Is there any chance maybe you won't be able to ask? So do you know if? I was wondering if. Could you tell me if? So I'd like to know if are the best combinations for yes and no questions, okay? I would like to know if, okay? So these guys here, that's why I am showing you the expressions, the beginnings of the indirect questions, because that's pretty much what you're going to use, okay? Then after these parts, what you have to do is pay attention to your direct question and transform it. Turn this direct question into an indirect one, okay? And then follow the explanations I gave you. It's not direct. You're not asking a direct question anymore. So you have to change the verbs. You don't use do, did. You change positions between verb to be and subject. So these are the things you have to pay attention, okay? Let's see. Now, I prepared a PDF file where I give you, I think, 7 or 10 phrases. I don't remember exactly. But basically, it's an exercise for you to practice turning direct questions into indirect questions. And I also wrote down this list of indirect question beginnings so that you can start practicing these questions because they are very popular. Native speakers use them all the time. As I told you, they are not formal. They are just a little bit more polite than the traditional direct questions, okay? Now, do you need to stop using direct questions? No, not at all, okay? Continue. Keep it up. Keep using those phrases. They're okay. Keep using direct questions. But this is an option that will definitely sharpen your speaking skills, and it'll help you understand native speakers too. Because many times English learners don't know that these are questions because they've never come across these questions, okay? So that's the intention of this lesson. And as I told you guys, I have this extra file. I share it on my Telegram group. To be part of my Telegram group, it's free, okay? It's a private group, and I always send some files, some videos. But to do that, you have to join my email list, which is free too. And there you will receive the Telegram group, so the link to join my Telegram group so that you can join and be there, okay? That's how I'm doing it. I'm not sharing the link here on YouTube. This is really for the people who are interested, who really want to learn and improve. So make sure to check the descriptions of the video, of this video, because there I'll be giving you the link to join my email list. You will receive a free ebook. Very nice ebook where I give strategies to help you better understand and talk to native speakers. And then you will also receive the Telegram group link where I'll be sending this exercise shortly as soon as I finish this video. Anyways, my friends, if you don't want to do that, it's fine too. So I invite you to participate in the comments and write one indirect question. Try, take a look, pause the video and write down the expressions and use one to ask me an indirect question and I will make sure to reply to you, okay? Other than that, if possible, share this video with your friends. I really appreciate when you guys do it, when you share, when you like, because this really helps the channel grow. Thank you so much, and I'll see you tomorrow for another English lesson. Bye-bye!